Carson, and you're watching Oklahoma Live TV's hashtag Starting Somewhere. Now this episode is different from the others. Don't get me wrong, we love all of Oklahoma's performers. But in the music industry, you don't see many female performers. That's why we're highlighting the ladies in this all-women episode of hashtag Starting Somewhere, brought to you by our sponsors JJ's Alley, Bricktown Pub, and Raven Cade, announcer with 98.7 Red Dirt Rebel, and the representative for Q.I.T.C Studio Productions. They both are some of the greatest sponsors because they participated in their own way in this week's episode. I'll explain later. Now, let's get started. A great friend of mine, Coyette Camper, has the voice closest to Reba McEntire, in my opinion, than anyone else. Her and her bandmates Kim Van Stavern and Debbie V are performing at the Elks Lodge in El Reno, Oklahoma this Saturday at 8. There's no cover, and karaoke with Ashley Osborne is following their show. She's going to pop up again in our Artist Spotlight segment, but Nikki Jackson is performing at Hacienda Tacos in Oklahoma City tomorrow night, and she's joining Chloe Beth on stage at Bellstar Saloon in Purcell, Oklahoma next Friday. Then, the following Saturday, you can find her at the Heartland Pub and Grill in Piedmont. She's got a full band behind her and never not playing, it seems like. Katie Ballew will be back at the Cold Creek Winery in Tuttle, Oklahoma tomorrow night at 6:30. If that doesn't work for you, head to 4070 Eagles Lodge in Chickasha, Oklahoma on Saturday, August 28th. If you still can't see her that day, then Saturday, September 4th, she'll be at Whiskey River Nightclub in Woodward, Oklahoma. The annual Blues Ball in Medicine Park is happening this Labor Day weekend, and you can catch Miss RENEE NUNLEY jamming on the Drunken Goose stage from 2 to 2:30 on Saturday, September 4th. Amanda Cunningham, an Oklahoma State University graduate, go Pokes, now travels all over Oklahoma performing, and she's got a long list, folks. Tomorrow night, she'll be at the Flower Shop Winery in Yukon, Angry Scotsman Brewing in Oklahoma City on Thursday, and Saturday, September 4th, you'll find her on the North Stage of 4 p.m. at the Paseo Arts Festival. Rachel Lynch and the Day Drinkers from the center of Oklahoma will be at the Hinton Fair tonight with Felina Rivera starting at 9 p.m. Then you'll be able to catch their show tomorrow night at the 51st Street Speakeasy with the Blvd and Felina Rivera. Then this Saturday, she's performing at our sponsor, JJ's Alley Bricktown Pub, upstairs at 10 p.m. Actually, JJ's has joined the movement, if you will, by hiring nothing but female artists for the upstairs stage this weekend. I, along with 2 other girls, are performing on the upstairs stage, but you can also check out the artists on the other 2 stages JJ's has in Oklahoma City. And don't forget, live music 7 days a week, y'all. Here's this week's all-women episode of JJ's Calendar. I was so thankful that Nikki Jackson made the trip to visit us for our interview for this week's Artist Spotlight. Enjoy our story of the artist, Nikki Jackson.
I usually just call it coffee house or singer-songwriter. Right now I'm primarily doing just like solo work. And so it's kind of hard to assign a genre when it's just me and my guitar all the time. I've been writing since I was 9. And so throughout that, I've always just kind of like found inspiration in whatever I'm listening to at the time. So if I'm listening to a lot of rock, like that will kind of reflect in my original stuff. If I'm like going through a phase where I just don't want to listen to anything but country, like that will reflect. It's kind of just like bits and pieces of everything that's inspired me throughout my life. I grew up taking voice lessons and piano lessons and singing in church and school and everything. I've only really been doing it professionally for about 4 years now, and full-time for 2 years. Kind of just happened. Like I didn't just wake up one day like, oh, I'm gonna do this for a living. I started really going out to open mics and stuff and trying to book gigs because I had always had really bad stage fright growing up. So when I was about 20, I quit playing music altogether, just kind of stepped away from it. And then by the time I was 25, 26, I just started to kind of get that itch. Like I wanted to share my music with people because I never stopped writing it. So I started going to open mics and booking gigs, and then next thing I know, it was like, wow, I'm really staying busy enough doing this that I don't have to actually do something else.
Tell the world, you know, what it's like being a female performer in an industry that's mainly male dominated.
It can be tricky at times. I feel like it's really comparable to like the same struggles women face in other industries. Like it's a fine line between like being assertive and being, I can't think of an appropriate word for what I'm trying to say, aggressive. So there's that. Also with musicians, like we travel a lot. There's a lot of times I have to travel to like strange places where I don't know anybody, and safety is kind of a factor sometimes. Like it's hard to really feel comfortable when you're like driving out to some little town you've never been to in the middle of nowhere, to some little hole in the wall bar, and like you don't know anybody. There's almost always like some excessively drunk guy that thinks you want him to hit on you. And so there's a lot of that. I think one of the trickiest things with like entertainment and like performing is like understanding that you're gonna face more rejection than success at some point. Like you have to get through all the bad stuff, and you have to hear all the no's, and you have to get through all the uncomfortable stuff to get to the reward. And from here, I just want to kind of keep building on what I've been doing. I've been working on an EP that'll be released at some point. We don't know when. There's been so many delays. But right now my main focus is just on that and actually like getting in the studio and getting my music out that way. Since I'm staying pretty busy playing shows, I'm wanting to kind of focus more on the creative aspect now. I've actually already started expanding into Texas and Arkansas, and really like, I mean, ideally like I would just be able to travel all over the country doing what I love. I think that's probably one of the ultimate goals, is just be able to see everything and make music while I'm doing it.
Get to know me in ways that feel so right, they just can't be. Have your fun when it's all said and done. Pull me closer, wish me luck, and set me free. But don't say that you need me.
Our other sponsor, Raven Cade, is also a female performer and a promoter with Q.I.T.C Studio Productions, and an announcer with the radio station 98.7 Red Dirt Rebel. She partnered with Oklahoma Life TV for this episode and has agreed to have the ladies we've promoted on this episode of #Starting Somewhere in the studio for a one-on-one interview for 98.7 Red Dirt Rebel. You'll be able to catch the interviews and many more of her shows every Sunday at 6 p.m. Here's a snippet from her talk with the Cat Pratt Band.
I think you have a great band, and I saw that y'all are really tight and professional, and you put on a great show time in and time out. I was very pleased to see you at Red Dirt Reloaded, and also I can't wait to see you in future shows and future endeavors. So your background is pretty much ever since you saw Guitar Boom, that's what you wanted to do. Any musical influences that added a little bit of seasoning to that enthusiasm?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I was younger, my dad used to watch live concerts on TV or pre-recorded concerts. And I remember him sitting me down and saying, you need to play guitar and sing like this woman right here. And it was Bonnie Raitt.
I'd also like to thank Danny Carson with Oklahoma Life TV. In this interview that I'm going to be doing with Miss Cat Pratt here in just one moment of the Cat Pratt Band, by the way, we're going to be highlighting women that are locally throughout the Oklahoma music circuit. And
As always, support your local music. Go visit a show or share this video on their social media to help them reach more people. Make sure you go to JJ's, get some live music in your life, listen to Raven Cade on 98.7 Red Dirt Rebel, or hire her to promote your event. And as always, we'll see you next time on #Starting Somewhere.